Brexit Britain to the world.
Good morning. It is Balls Radio, and we're going to try something a bit different. I'm going to try and do Balls Radio every morning with three top stories. Trop stories. That's a good start, isn't it? We're going to look at Iran, Brexit, and a Trump visit. The three things you need to know about today. I'm going to try and do this every day. I don't know. It might only last today, but it is Tuesday, the 23rd of April 2019. It is the day that William Shakespeare was born in 1564. He also died on this day. He was exactly 52 years old. 38 plays later, he died. 38 plays, incidentally, is the average number of listens we get to Balls Radio. But we hope to do better. Maybe if we do it every day, maybe we can get up to 50 or so. As for William Shakespeare, we don't actually know he was born on this day, but he was baptised a few days later, and they usually left it a few days just to make sure the baby survived. I think they still do that with the NHS, don't they? He didn't go to university because he got Anne Hathaway up the duff when he was 18 years old, and they had to get married. But he introduced 3,000 new words into the English language, including assassination and arch-villain and addiction, and believe it or not, newfangled. That's Shakespeare. Love's Labour Lost, Act 1, Scene 1. At Christmas, I have no more desire arose than wish, and this is why I am not going to be a Shakespearean actor. Let me do that again. At Christmas, I no more desire arose than wish a snow in May's newfangled mirth. As usual, I have no idea what he's going on about. Just nod and look intellectual. But, Shakespeare plays, if you want to know them, in one line, Macbeth, some bloke kills his wife. Romeo and Juliet, the families don't get on, so they kill each other. Well, actually, they sort of kill themselves, don't they? Othello, more murder, basically, a bit of jealousy thrown in. Much ado about nothing. Look, if you're not going to kill yourself, at least pretend to. I think that's enough. That'll get you through your GCSEs. So what is going on in the world today? Well, Iran. Donald Trump is now saying he's going to impose sanctions on any country that buys oil from Iran. Well, he said that before, but he had waivers. He had a get-out clause for China, India, Japan, South Korea and Turkey. But that is going to stop at the end of next month. And if they continue to trade with Iran, they're going to face economic penalties from the US. I'm not really quite sure how this bully who tells the rest of the world what to do, how did a reality TV star get into a position like that? And as for the impact of nobody buying Iranian oil, well, Iran produces a heck of a lot of it. 5 million barrels of petroleum and 4 million barrels of crude oil a day. So the prices have already gone up because of this danger that we're going to lose this supply on the world market. A quarter of the crude oil from Iran goes to China, who Donald Trump is supposed to be working with on a trade deal. And another big importer is South Korea, who Donald Trump is supposed to be working with to try and keep North Korea under control. Fortunately, the United States is now the world's largest oil producer, so he can just sell them some of his stuff. Problem solved. Except for Iran, of course, where 98% of their foreign earnings comes from oil. So it's unlikely they're going to take this lying down. And of course, we've got 5,000 US troops in Iraq, just over the border. They're supposedly to help fight the Islamic State forces who took over a large part of Iraq in 2014. Barham Salih, the elected president of Iraq, said they're basically, the troops are there to help fight ISIS, but Trump visited in December last year, didn't meet the president, and said the forces were there to watch Iran. So, is he getting ready for a war, in other words? After all, he's not had any successful outcomes with any of his peace talks with anyone, and election time is getting closer. He needs to do something, doesn't he, to deflect attention from the fact that he spent $2.3 trillion on tax cuts, which doesn't seem to have had the desired impact on the economy. So, look, a war is always good. So maybe he's getting ready for that one. Watch this space. Is he looking for regime change in the Middle East? Anywhere in the Middle East, but probably focusing on Iran first of all. We shall see. And Brexit talks resume today. Of course, the talks had a bit of a blow when Theresa May found her way back from her walking holiday in the Welsh Hills. She found her way down. She's returned to Downing Street. But a lot of Tories are looking for their own regime change. The 1922 committee, they're meeting today, and 70 local Tory party branches have called for an extraordinary general meeting to talk about how to get rid of her, basically. They can't have a no confidence vote because they did that in December and it didn't work. So now they need to either change the rules or try and gently persuade her some other way. But she doesn't want to go, does she? She's job for life. But who would get it anyway? Boris Johnson? I mean, the Ukraine has elected a comedian, so why not, I guess. Meanwhile, the latest Comres poll, asking if people would vote Leave or Remain if there was a vote held now, has shifted from 47% wanting to remain in January this year to 52% now. Only 38% said they wanted to leave. And of course, we know of those, only 2/3 want a hard Brexit. But apparently it would be undemocratic to have another vote for fear, it's going to tell us what people want to do. So don't kid yourself that we're going to have another vote, even though it seems like it's the only answer. Meanwhile, look, they've attempted to resolve the Northern Ireland border problem, I think, by smoking everyone out of Northern Ireland. They've got big bushfires over there this weekend. So maybe if they can just cover the whole place with smoke, then they won't realise that someone overnight has gone and stuck a border up, perhaps. That's the idea. And hey, Donald Trump is coming back to Britain in June. An announcement is expected today. He's going to have another meeting with the Queen, who spent 45 minutes with him last time, rather than the allotted 30 minutes, because she was 15 minutes more interesting than he'd expected her to be. But he did keep her waiting, didn't he? I thought she had a lady in waiting to do that sort of thing, and then she just stood in at the last minute. If it was her, I would just get someone else to stand in anyway. But you could see it, couldn't you? Windsor Castle standing there getting agitated, saying, look, I'm going to give him 5 minutes more. That was only a year ago, and he's coming back. He's going to be in France. He's already said he's going to be there for the 75th anniversary of the D-Day landings on the 6th of June. And it's expected, he's looked at a map, obviously, realised that the UK is very close by. Said he's going to pop over and say hello and probably catch up, with the Queen again. And maybe catch up with Boris. Look, my music's run out. This is all live. Who cares? Look, he probably catch up with Boris. Help with the regime change there as well. I mean, if you're going to have one, then you might as well do a few at the same time. That's it for Balls Radio. What do you think of the daily edition? We'll do another one tomorrow, possibly.
Balls Radio, the UK. From a Brexit Britain to the world.